The core teachings of Vivek Chudamani begin with Sharira Traya Viveka. Traya means three, and here Shankaracharya describes the three body types as per Vedic philosophy. They are the gross body, the subtle body, and the causal body. The gross or physical body is also called the Sthula Sharira, which can be perceived or experienced by our sense organs. It is made up of the five elements or Pancha Mahabhutas. They are gross air, gross fire, gross space, gross earth, and gross water, and can only be experienced in the waking state. The physical body consists of 7 parts: bone marrow, bones, fat, flesh, blood, dermis or inner layer, and epidermis or the outer layer. The physical body is the seat of all delusion. Man's fascination with the physical body leads to wrong notions of I and me, when in reality, this physical body is not your true self. This physical body is subject to decay and is consumed by death. It perishes at the end of each birth. Next is the subtle body, or Sukshma Sharira. This subtle body is non-physical and the means of all our experiences. It is the instrument of experiencing pleasure and pain in this life. The Sukshma Sharira has 8 components. First are the 5 faculties of motion, or Karma Indriyas. They are the organs of action, beginning with mouth, the organ of speech, the hands for grasping, the feet for walking, then the organ for procreating, an organ for excretion. Second are the 5 Jnanendriyas of sight, smell, touch, taste and sound. In other words, the ability to see, smell, touch, taste and hear. Third is the life force prana. When this single vital force prana enters the body, then according to the diversity of its functions, it is modified into 5. They are prana, apana, vyana, samana and udana. Prana is functional to the respiratory system, apana to the excretory system, vyana to the blood circulatory system, samana to the digestive system, and udana relates to the circulation of oxygen and nutrients to the upper part of the body. This also refers to acts of sneezing and vomiting. Fourth is the mind, or manas, which performs unintentional activity and exhibits itself in all 3 states: the waking state, or Jagrat Awastha, the dreaming state, or Swapna Aawastha, and the dreamless state, or Sushupti Awastha. Your mind will always be in any one of these states. The gross body is experienced in the waking state, and the subtle body is experienced in the sleep state. Fifth is intellect, or buddhi, which performs intentional activities. It helps us to make the right choices, acquire knowledge and skills, and is the so-called inner wisdom. Sixth is avidya, the ignorance about the self. This physical body is made up of the 5 gross elements and hence is itself inert, but the body seems alive due to the superimposition of the properties of your consciousness. A good example given here is that of an iron ball, which is dark in color, inert, and has no light of itself. But when it is heated in a furnace, it becomes a glowing red-hot iron ball, which emits light. Due to the superimposition, the infinite and shapeless consciousness appears as the glowing hot iron in the shape of a ball. This metaphor reveals how living beings made of inert flesh and bones become sentient beings due to the presence of consciousness shining within them. Your infinite consciousness is superimposed on the finite body, so you identify pure infinite consciousness with the body, mind and intellect. This gives birth to ego or ahankara, a sense that this body is me. This avidya can only be removed by acquiring the correct knowledge or vidya. But due to ignorance and to bring greater joy and happiness in your life, we choose unfair means, increasing the desire for material objects and expanding ahankara. The seventh component of the subtle body or sukshma sharira is kama or desire. Here we see that kama is the byproduct of avidya. Avidya gives birth to desires. When we proceed towards fulfillment of these desires, we take actions at the mental and physical level, and that is the eighth component of the subtle body, karma. Avidya gives birth to desires, and desires give birth to karma. Last is the causal body, or karana sharira, which is also called seed body, and is the cause of the other two bodies. It is beginningless and is the indescribable ignorance, the ignorance of non-recognition of your true self as pure consciousness is the causal body. This causes our subtle body to get reborn in a new physical body after death. We experience the causal body in the dreamless sleep state. We now move to Avastha Traya Viveka, knowledge of the three states of consciousness. They are the waking state, the sleeping state, and the dreamless state. In the waking state, or Jagrat Awastha, the Gyanendriyas and the Karma Indriyas are active and help the body to obtain knowledge of external objects. These sense organs are active only in the waking state. A person in this state identifies his Atma, infinite consciousness, with his finite physical body. Shankaracharya gives the example of a clear crystal which appears blue in the presence of a blue cloth. We attribute the blue color of the cloth to the clear crystal. In the same way, the qualities of your body, mind and intellect are falsely attributed to your consciousness. All three bodies are active in the waking state. The physical body is active as the organs of action are functional. The subtle body is present as the mind is active, and the causal body is present as avidya still exists. Next is the sleeping state or Swapna Awastha. In this state, the mind drops the identification with the physical body and creates an identical dream body. While in the waking state, when all the sense organs are active, the mind records all that we see, hear, and experience. All this, along with your unfulfilled desires, are projected in your dreams. In this state, there is no activity or awareness. This state acts like a stress buster, which releases tension from the body, and we experience happiness in the sleeping state. The third state is the dreamless state or Sushupti Awastha. In this state, a person experiences complete unawareness and ignorance. He knows nothing about himself. In this state, all superimpositions are removed and he experiences absolute bliss, which is essentially his true nature, Sat Chit Anand. Your consciousness Atma is not in any of these three states. It is only a witness of all these three states and only remains a passive observer all through.